Shalom, shalom. It's your brother here, Yakanan.
Shalom, it's your brother Watazat.
First and foremost, we want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Want to give double honors to the elders the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect, the brothers that are putting this work diligently, sincerely, and truthfully. To you, we want to say shalom.
Shalom. Hey man, we wanted to get into it, just kind of go through the spirit, get into some scriptures, and you'll see the direction we're going. I'm going to start with 2 Corinthians 10, start at verse 4. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 2, just to give context. It says, but I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach. So what this is, Paul is saying right here, and he's basically saying, like, listen, this is in fact a war, and I'm bold in the way I'm speaking, in the way that I'm handling myself, but not in the sense where I'm trying to make myself mighty to fight against another man's flesh, to fight against armies. He's saying that, our weapons of our warfare are not carnal. You know what I mean? So what he's saying is that our weapons are spiritual. Okay? The keeping of the law, the exhibiting of the law that we have towards our brethren, speaking the truth in the world of lies. Okay? This book, man, all right, is honestly the mightiest weapon. This and the faith that it, relays is the mightiest weapon that you could have on this earthly plane. And it's not even earthly. It's very spiritual. All right. So, even when we get out in the highways and the byways and we speak with such ferocity and fire, and, we might even get on the public, it's really the spiritual wickedness that we see, man. It's not that, we hate the Billy Bob shoes or, you know what I mean? It's that and the third is because we understand the sinful nature, all right? Because sinning is spiritual. You're basically the walking dead if you're living in sin. So we see that we see what's killing you, all right? And we war against those same demons that kill you. We're warring against those spirits, man. Because we have the spirit of life. Hey, the scriptures say that greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. Okay? And so with that, certain brothers, Lord willing, we be those men. All right? The Lord put the spirit in us to war. All right? But in a spiritual sense. All right? Breaking down those lies that Esau and the rest of these nations have cast over the whole world. Okay? That Yahushua was a white man. Yahweh loves everybody. And a myriad of different things. All right, we stand in direct opposition to anything that presents itself against the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai.
And like you said, our weapon is spiritual, and part of that weapon, one of the greatest weapons, is our faith that we have in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. That's what keeps us sharp. That's what keeps us on our watchtower.
Right.
That's what keeps us holding our brothers accountable. That's what keeps us away from the world, all right, and out of darkness and into the light, having that faith. Because faith is one of the greatest things to ever have. That's why it's a gift. The Lord gives that gift unto certain men. And when men use that gift, it's a great thing, man, because the scriptures say not to walk not by sight, but by the spirit. Or to walk not by, what is it?
Not
by
faith,
sight, but by
not
faith.
By faith.
It's
like
not by sight, but by faith.
That,
and by meaning is not to walk in the ways of the world, but walk into the ways of spirituality, which is the scriptures, which is the names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, being separated and renewed, all right, being brought out of the depths of the dry bones and into this marvelous life, All right, the life of bread and the life of the living waters and so on and so forth. I got something to go into what we talking about. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So as we saying, this thing isn't about it's not against we battle ourselves with our flesh. But for the most part, the battle is in the spiritual. All right. Up in the down here in the third dimension, right? Things that we can't see, but things that we can feel, all right? And that's what the scripture tells us. It's against spiritual wickedness. It's not against physical wickedness, although there you have that physical wickedness because of the spiritual wickedness. All right, so whatever happens in the spiritual comes the realization in the physical. All right, so we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but it's against these demonic powers, all right, in these spiritual places.
You know, and you said something profound when you were talking about walking by faith and not by sight, because when you look through the scriptures, that's how our ancestors, you know, the great men of the scriptures did. Noah never saw rain before. I mean, nobody had ever seen rain before. Yet he believed when the Lord told him that it was going to rain, that it is. We haven't never seen a nuclear holocaust before. Yet we understand through faith that it's coming. You know what I mean? We've never seen the spiritual realm, at least not that we can remember in these carnal bodies, but we have hope and faith that these things exist. All right. And we have expectations of the promises of the Most High because of faith, man. And because of that faith, we can stand firm no matter in that same passage in Ephesians, it talks about that you could stand against the wiles of the devil using the shield of faith. All right. And it talks about the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. You know what I mean? And so these things are you know, very necessary in this daily walk, being in this truth, because it's not even until you really come into this truth that you understand what type of warfare you're actually in. Most people think that none of this shit is really actually, they think that they're actually choosing and these things is happening just by chance. You know what I mean? They don't have no understanding of the spiritual realm and how things, like you said earlier, how spiritual things come to manifest in the physical, you know?
And the bro said a good point. How do we know we have faith? Well, we show it by our works. How do we know Noah had faith? Because Noah was building an ark. All right. How do we know we have faith?
Years?
So how do we know we have faith? Not only do we believe, we show we believe. By why? By doing what the chosen one did, Yahweh Shai, by preaching the gospel, by doing what the apostles did, the 12 disciples. All right, what they do? Preach the gospel. It says, I will show you about my faith by my works. So it's one thing to say you have faith, but it's a whole other thing to prove you have faith. And you prove your faith through your actions.
Yeah, that's real. And then you know, that goes with, you know, how you live your life. That goes with what you do with your time, you know, and how you exemplify your belief in the Most High. You know, not everybody is going to be a prophet, but that doesn't mean that you don't put forth the effort to do something for the sake of the gospel, because that shows your faith. And that also is part of the way. Hey, not everybody is infantry. Not everybody is a Marine, a Navy SEAL, front line with the clack. There's some people who making the bullets. There's some people preparing the food for the soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, we all a body, man. The hand doesn't do what the foot does. You know what I mean? The elbow don't do what the knee does. All right? And so everybody has their thing, but it all works together for the army of the Lord. We all part of the army of the Lord if we have faith in the Lord. You know, because without faith, then
it's impossible to please him.
It's impossible to please the Lord. Without what does it say? And then on the other side, faith without works is dead. You know, you really don't have faith if you don't put forth the effort. If you're not joining the battle, you know what I mean. If you're not casting down the imaginations, man. You know, if you're not if you're not bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of a Mashiach, you know, in some capacity, okay.
Jeremiah
Yep.
5:14.
Beautiful.
Wherefore thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, because ye speak this word, behold, I will make my words in thy mouth fire, and this people wood, and it shall devour them.
Hey,
Go ahead.
now I was saying, and because of what you said earlier, we doing, us and other brothers doing what Yahweh Shai did on the scene, which is preach the word, right? Well, why do you think they killed Yahweh Shai? Because he was speaking smooth things? All right? Because he was speaking nicely? No, he was condemning, and he spoke a gospel that was contrary to the established religious system at the time. All right? And then what happened? They killed him for it. Why? Because they was burnt the fuck up. Not physically, but spiritually, they was burnt. They was burnt the fuck up at the words that he spoke because they were true. The same thing is happening now. That's why people get all carnal and want to do stuff to us, man. While we out on the highways. And when I say us, I mean collectively everybody who's doing the work. All right? That's but it's spiritual because right now our weapons of warfare are not carnal. But the Lord said that he reserved this place unto judgment by fire, roughly paraphrasing. So right now we're rehearsing the righteous act by burning this place down, casting down the strongholds and different imaginations and destroying this place spiritually. Because like we said earlier, what happens in the spirit will then manifest in the physical. And soon we hope and we're looking for and is prophesied to the physical destruction of this wicked ass kingdom, man.
Jeremiah 23:29. Is not my word like as a fire, said the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? All right, so the Lord said his word is like the fire, man. Why do you think when brothers be out there in the highways and byways, man, they be fiery, they be in the spirit, all right? Some brothers more than others because, man, this is certain brothers has got that gift, certain brothers don't have that gift, certain brothers got other gifts, but certain brothers are on fire, you can just tell, all right? That's not to say certain brothers aren't on fire. Because certain brothers are on fire in their different ways. Some brothers might be on fire and they act it out more, but certain brothers might be on fire with, knowing precepts off the top, or citing the precept fully off the top, or being able to being able to break the scripture down. Some brothers might be just louder and just upfront about certain things.
Trumpet,
there's different types of fires. All right, the guy that's talking the most and cussing and being the loudest. Yeah, he's on fire, but there's other guys that aren't doing those same actions that are on fire as well.
Right.
And
because the people who's speaking always need the brothers who's reading.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because while bro might be speaking out on the line, and he's in now, that get other brothers' wheels turning.
Exactly.
It's like, you know what? I got a precept for that. I got a precept for that.
Yep.
And that's beautiful because that's exemplified in the men of the Lord because the Lord is like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
got something. The Lord is like that. Hebrews 12:29. For our power, God, is a consuming fire. There you have it, man.
There it is, man. And then that's represented in the spiritual, of course. But even if you go to was it Elijah or Elisha, where he was up on a mountain, and the soldiers had surrounded him, and it was like. They said, prove your God or whatever. So we had him build the altar, and then he said, cover it with water. Put water all around it, cover it with water. And then he prayed to the Most High, and then the Most High sent fire and consumed the altar and all the water and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, because the Lord, hey, come on now. Look what he did to Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
Uh-huh. And then by the Lord, you go and look into the word fire. It's not just because it's destructive or, you're known for that, but it also talks about the light that's in the fire.
God.
The Lord is the light, is he not? That's why he says he's that consuming fire, because he's also the light.
Right.
All right, then it goes into, a controlled occurrence. All right, the Lord's also controlled, because he talks about false imbalances, abominations. So the Lord has control on everything he does. It's not out of control with the fire.
Right.
All right, he knows how to consume and control his fire.
Right, That's why when they threw Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fire, they didn't get burned, but the guards did.
Yep.
Because the Lord is in control, man. You know what I mean?
And then that's why the Lord is bringing fire to this goddamn place, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, to America. All right, Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth, And what will I if it already be kindled?
Whew. So what does it mean when it says and already be kindled? It means that the fire is started by his men already using the scriptures, man.
Because how? Because we're preaching the word, which is the fire.
Right. That he put in our mouth to burn you people, which he turned into wood. It all fits together in this perfect peace, man. You know, I got something real quick. This is Malachi 4:1. All right. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. You know? Hey, man, there you have it, man. So, hey, the Lord is setting this place on fire right now spiritually to get ready for that time when he comes and does it physically, man.
Exactly.
You know, and we have to be on fire for the Lord, all right, and be a part of that fire. You know what I mean? All right, that it burns away our flesh and the sins and the wickedness that we have in ourselves. Also, to that when the Lord comes and reveals himself, that he finds us as an acceptable part and brings us into his holy flame, if you will. You know what I'm saying? You know, that we won't be burnt up, but that we'll be a part of that holy destruction. You know? 2
Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. All right, so we know that thing that's going to make them elements melt with fervent heat is them thermonuclear missiles.
Right.
Bombs inside of bombs inside of bombs.
All
right, the heat that's about to come to this place is going to be beyond. I think I seen a brother one time do the math on how hot it's going to be, and the number is just so huge.
Don't even fit on the calculator.
Don't even fit on the calculator how hot it's going to be to this place.
Right.
It talks about burning the eyes inside your sockets and your tongue inside your mouth.
Right.
It's going to burn the elements. I mean, the air,
right.
the
air
water,
catch on fire, right.
the fucking dust, whatever there is that's made up of everything is going to be burnt. All right, it's going to be burned. So that's how that goes to show you how hot this place is really going to be.
You know.
I got something else. Jeremiah 51:58. Thus said the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary.
And you know, if you know anything about ancient Babylon or ancient cities in general, high walls were the greatest defense. You know, you see that in ancient movies like what's that, Troy, you know, with those really high walls and things like that. But you know, you could relate it into the modern Babylon with the Iron Dome and all of these different missile defenses and things of that nature, or just the standing armies in itself as a defense. All of that shit gonna be burnt up. All right, it's not gonna present no defense against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because those fire of the thermonuclear destruction, that's gonna be like nothing the world has ever seen. But really, it's going to be more than what these Smiths calculated, because the Lord is going to put his spirit on them, which is going to multiply that fire to an innumerable amount of heat.
They ain't factoring the Lord.
They ain't factoring the Lord, man. But we factoring in the Lord because of faith, man. Faith in what he's done in our lives, faith in the prophecies, faith in the history of what he's done for our people before, okay? And the faith that Yahweh Shai is going to get his glory, right? By the destruction of this kingdom and the setting up of a totally righteous kingdom that'll last forever and ever, man.
Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And that's talking about those thermonuclear missiles. That's going to make a lake of fire. It's not talking about hell, okay? Hell is bullshit. It's a myth.
Right.
Okay, hell is a condition. We are in hell now.
Right.
It's not a place underneath the ground with a guy with a fucking red suit on with a pitchfork with horns down there torturing you.
Right.
Okay? That second death is talking about them thermonuclear missiles that a lot of people are going to die in.
Right.
Okay?
Right. And then that it looks like a lake of fire when you're looking down from an aerial view from the chariots.
Yeah.
All right. And Lord willing, we're gonna be on them chariots looking down at everybody that it just named, man, burning the hell up.
God.
You know, because it's y'all that didn't have the faith. Okay. And it's gonna be those who do have the faith, all right, to witness such great destruction and the redemption of the Lord's people.
God.
You got something else? That's pretty much it.
That's it.
You know, so hey, Lord willing, all right, this was edifying. Okay, we want to just, you know what I mean, we use these lessons and the scriptures and to build up our own faith. Lord willing, it was edifying and help build up, you know, you brothers' faith. All right, and we want to stay in the spirit. All right, that spirit of that cleansing fire of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and keep it until the day He show Himself and physically burn this place up, man.
God.
So with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, B'Shem, Yahweh Shai, B'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders at Great Millstone. Teach and rule well. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.